get yourself to blame. Hi there, guys. How are you doing? Teacher Hafa here, the tutor of teachers. Guys, today a more straightforward and simple video. I want to talk a little about basic equipment you should have to start teaching. As we mentioned before in the first few videos, so important it is to invest in your career. Invest, it doesn't mean only in terms of buying expensive courses or buy expensive equipment that sometimes you don't need, but it's so important to invest and have a simple basic equipment. And here are my tips for you that is starting your career. Okay, so basic equipment, guys, headphones essential. You can't start teaching without decent headphones. Sometimes you got the echo, you got some reverb in the room, so very important to have a headphone. You don't have to go for the most expensive ones. You got pretty, basic decent ones, headsets for like a 25, 30, 32 euros. You can get a really decent one. But I would recommend for you that starting, you can start with the basic Apple one, the basic simple Apple unit. I'll put here in the screen. There you go. You get for 10 euros. I got mine, I think, for 7.99, and they have a pretty decent bass and a nice clear audio. You got even you can listen to good music in it. So nice to go exercising, advertising or anything. But basic good one, you could have one. The one I'm using here, I'm using an M Audio Uber mic. It's a simple USB mic. It already came with this mounting, and this is really helps with everything. Very practical. It doesn't be in the way. I can even put the keyboards to do some music production, and clears really well my workstation. Guys, second thing, extremely important, light. People don't often talk about that, but the light, it's important for the person to see your face clearly. Your message goes more, how happy you are, and how lively your class is. It shows much more in a bright light environment. Dark classes sounds like you're in a dungeon teaching, trying to be quiet, and does not sound like the most successful of the classes. So watch out for the light. Throughout the years, I've analyzed where I am. I've changed positions a lot, and I've discovered that ring lights is not much for me. If you go for 6, 8, hours a day with that light straight to your face, at the end of the day, oh, you're seeing a couple, few stars. So it's not the best. I don't actually recommend the ring light. So for me, this is something, I think it's very particular. But I would say that for me, I prefer to go with the LED lights to the wall, and then I got this light back to me. It's something important. So a good lighting, position your place in a nice and not so busy background, in a nice solid wall. You put your desk faced this wall that nobody's gonna pass behind you, so it shows a nice environment, a nice setting, and a good place to work, a good quiet place for the person to see, and it's not too busy with many paintings. In the past, I used to invest and I had a painter friend, and then I had many paintings and made a composition behind it. But then I got people paying attention in the paintings and not me. So, guys, a good camera sometimes doesn't cost much. Uh, you can go for 10, 20 euros tops. You can buy a pretty decent camera on Shein or on AliExpress, and makes a difference as well for the lighting. Because throughout the years, I've invested a lot trying to make a really bright place to work, and then I saw, okay, your camera is a dark camera. You just need a better camera. You don't need that much light. It's more comfortable to be there and working, for long hours. So I would go for that too. A nice basic camera is a good part of good setting. And of course, a good computer, a good machine, but wouldn't be investing 1,000, 1,500 euros in a top of the line computer. This is not key here. Is something I've been teaching for 19 years. I've had three computers. The last two are the ones I've invested a little more money. It was, asking for it, my productions and everything. But it's important to show it, and I see my students commenting that how much I'm investing in a nicer setting with a nicer camera, and then can hear me more clearly. This shows how much you're investing and how much you were worried about them. And one final tip, guys, something you could use in classes with more advanced or intermediate students. Really cool thing. You could put YouTube backgrounds, such as this one I'm gonna show. You could go for New York settings, and people record this a lot. They are walking around the city, and then just as a tourist, just sightseeing. You could use those audios. I pretty much create a story with the student. Okay, now we're gonna have our feedback meeting in the streets as informal, and so we're gonna go around New York, and then I put that this background sound. If some Depending on what is the job of your student, you could put a louder, like more of a Manhattan background noise, or something like a stock exchange, something busier that it makes the communication harder. Because don't forget that the idea is always to push. You believe in your students, you believe they are gonna get the communication, and they know it's an exercise that exercise the patience as well. So guys, these are my basic tips for to see a nice decent basic setup. It's not going to cost you more than 40-50 euros, and I think you could impress, make a nice introduction video, and get your students today. Okay, see you tomorrow.